on the cameras. Now, as stated before, the iPhone 12 has a dual camera setup, so does the 7 Plus, 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide. The iPhone 7 Plus has a 12 megapixel wide and then a 12 megapixel telephoto lens. Now, in terms of the user interfaces and features of both, you can do 4K on both cameras. You can do 4K at 60 on the iPhone 12. And on top of that, I think, in terms of the features, they have portrait mode and different things like that. You have a couple of more features on the iPhone 12, but honestly, like, they're both very similar in terms of the feature standpoint. I think, Android is killing it right now in the features. These ones aren't really killing it, to be honest. But the front camera, I think that's where the biggest difference is. The iPhone 12 has a ability to do 4K at 60 on the front camera. The iPhone 7 Plus can only do 1080p. Is it a big deal? It's totally up to you, but you're going to be getting a better camera setup overall in the 12. But I still think for a majority of people out there, the 7 Plus's camera is okay. It's very, very average. I don't think anybody's going to look at this camera and be like, wow, this is the best camera in the world. I think people are going to look at it and be very, very, indecisive. Like, nobody's really going to look at this camera and be like, it's the best camera. And I think if you're making Snapchats and videos and photos and stuff like that, you're probably going to be okay. But if you're trying to get, a really good camera, like the best camera, in a phone right now, the iPhone 12 is probably the best way to go. And on top of just the camera lens itself, I think a really cool thing about it is the ultra-wide sensor. I like the telephoto lenses, I think they're great, but I think when it comes down to it, the ultra-wide sensors are far better in my opinion. You have the ability of getting way more in a photo. Look how much more I can get into even this one. And on top of that, the ability of doing 4K at 60 on this front camera on the iPhone 12 is really, really important to me. And it may not, be the biggest deal to some people, but for me, I actually like having that ability, and I would rather take a better front-facing camera than a better back camera in my opinion. And this one just happens to be both, so in terms of the cameras, the iPhone 12 definitely wins.